All right. Are we ready to shoot?
Yes, we are.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Today we will be dealing with bank reconciliation statements and supplementary cash books. Bank reconciliation statements and supplementary cash books. You do a supplementary cash book and bank reconciliation statement on a monthly basis. Can we all mute our mics? Can we mute our mics, please, Mr. Teche? Mr. Teche? Right. Right. Please, let's keep our mics muted. All right. Let us proceed. You will remember when we started with the lecture on day one, we said that as a legal practitioner, you are required to have books of account. You are required to record all transactions which occur in your practice. When financial transactions take place, they must be recorded. In other words, when you receive money, you need to record this transaction. When you make a payout or money goes out of your account, you also need to record that transaction. There must never be a financial transaction which has not been recorded in your books of account. You will also remember that we agreed and or discussed the necessity to have bank accounts. And we said that you will have 2 banking accounts in your practice. You'll have 2 bank accounts in your practice. Letabo Maradu, please switch your mic off or mute it, please.
So I think you mute yourself as well. Mr. Magape, I think you mute yourself.
It's okay. All right. We agreed that you need to have books of account. You need to have books of account so that you can record all financial transactions which take place in your practice. At the same time, we also agreed that you must have at least 2 banking accounts. You need to have 2 banking accounts. We spoke about the trust banking account and the business banking account. You need to have the trust banking account and the business banking account. And in our agreement, we said that you need to have a trust banking account because You will also be dealing with funds which do not belong to you. You will be dealing with funds which belong to your clients or to third parties. And for that reason, you need to have a trust banking account. And on the other hand, you will need to also have a business banking account so that you can deal with your own money there. Right. These accounts are operated and or held at financial institutions. They are at the bank. They are at the bank. The bank also will record transactions which take place in your banking account. When you make a deposit into your bank account, the bank will record that fact. You will also record in your own cash book that you have received money. Likewise, when you take money out of your practice, you are required to record this in the cash book. If you are receiving money or making payment out of the trust account, the relevant cash book you will use is the trust cash book. If it is for business purposes, whether you are receiving or making a payment, the relevant book you will use is the business cash book, as discussed last week. So you will need to use these books. They are cash transaction books. You go to them only when you deal with cash transactions. The banks will be recording monies coming into your account and going out. When they charge you, they will record. When they say debit order going off your banking account, they will record that fact. And at the end of every month, the bank will send you a document called a bank statement. In that bank statement, the bank will record all the transactions that took place in your account, or the bank statement will reflect all the transactions that took place in your account for that accounting period or for that month. When you receive this statement from the bank, you will go through it and compare it with your own cash book. You will compare your cash book with this statement that you have received from the bank. The reason you compare these two documents is to see if what the recordings of the bank reflect are the same as what your own books reflect. You want to see if there are differences between your bank statement and the cash book. You also want to see if there are similarities between the bank statement and the cash book. If you find that the bank statement is exactly the same as your cash book, it means you have no problem. You don't need to prepare any document for that month. You don't need to prepare any document relating to this comparison. But if you find that there are differences between the bank statement and the cash book, it means you need to do something. You need to reconcile the two. You need to investigate the reasons causing these differences. You need to find out why there are differences between the bank statement and the cash book. And this is why you will end up preparing two documents called bank reconciliation statement, and supplementary cash book. The supplementary cash book is an extension of your cash book for the month, whilst the bank reconciliation statement is augmenting the bank statement from the bank. What you are doing there is to ensure that items which should have been in the cash book but do not appear in the cash book or were omitted in the cash book are recorded this time around in the supplementary cash book. At the same time, items which should have been in the bank statement but do not appear in that bank statement are recorded in the bank reconciliation statement. In simple terms, there are two things you need to deal with. And what are those two things? You check if there are transactions which appear only in the cash book but do not appear in the bank statement. You need to record those transactions in the bank reconciliation statement. Again, if there are transactions which appear only in the bank statement but do not appear in the cash book, you need to identify those transactions and record them in the supplementary cash book. So you actually check which items appear this one side but not appearing on the other side. So once you identify those items, you make sure that they also appear on the other side. Another thing you need to deal with is an error. There are times when, as a practitioner, you make mistakes in your recordings. Where you have made a mistake in your recordings, please record or correct that mistake in the supplementary cash book. Record or correct that mistake in the supplementary cash book. Sometimes you find an error or mistake by the bank. Please correct that mistake by the bank in the bank reconciliation statement. You cannot correct an error made by the bank in the supplementary cash book. You can also not correct an error made by you, the practitioner, in the bank reconciliation statement. You cannot. Your own error must be corrected in your own book. Your own book here is the cash book. The bank statement, as the name also suggests, bank statement belongs to the bank. It was generated or produced by the bank. So their own mistake, the bank's mistake, must be corrected in the bank reconciliation statement. Do I have questions so far? Can I assume that it is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. Let us proceed now. So you need to know that mistakes by the bank are corrected in the bank reconciliation statement. And mistakes by you, the practitioner, should be corrected in the supplementary cash books. When it comes to errors, over and above you checking whether it is a bank error or a practice error, you need to determine the nature of the error. Is this an error which takes money away from me, or is it an error that gives me money? In other words, through this error, have I gained or received some money? Or through this error, have I lost some money, or has some money been taken away from me by error? If you find that through this error, money was taken away from you, you will correct the error by bringing the money back. But if you find that through this error, you benefited, or through this error, you gained some money, or through this error, you received some money, when you correct it by taking money out. For example, if through an error you debited the cash book, in correcting the error, you will credit the cash book. If the bank took money out of your trust account, but mistakenly recorded this in the business account, and you are dealing with your business account at that time, you will correct these by bringing money back to the business account so that the true position can be shown. We can illustrate this by taking an exercise. We can illustrate this by taking an exercise. Before that, another thing you should take note of is that there are times when you will deal with a favorable balance and times when you will deal with an unfavorable or overdrawn balance. We will deal with both so that you see how you record your transactions in both instances. But you need to know that where you are dealing with a favorable balance, it means you have a positive balance in your bank account. You do not owe the bank. But where you are dealing with a negative balance, or an overdrawn balance or unfavorable balance, it means there's an overdraft. You owe the bank some money. Your account is operating on the negative. And that will normally be your business account, because your trust account is not allowed to be on the negative. It is not allowed to be on a deficit. So it will normally be your business account that operates on the negative. So the way you deal with these is slightly different. I mean, the way you deal with an overdrawn account is simply the opposite of how you deal with a favorable account, for obvious reasons that an overdrawn account does not have money, you are operating on the negative, whilst a favorable account has money, it is on the positive. I take it that you have your manuals with you there. If you do have, you can go to page 48 there for an exercise on bank reconciliation statements and supplementary cash books in a favorable account. Please go to page 48. There's exercise number 5 there. Are you there?
Yes, we are there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Let us read exercise number 4. I mean, number 5, sorry. It's exercise number 5. It says, your trust cash book balance as of 30 September 2020 reflected a favorable balance of 101,004. The favorable bank balance on the same date was 114,310. Do you see before you go far that there is a problem here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
There is a problem. What problem do you see there?
The difference in the favorable balance, sir.
The balances are not the same.
Yes.
Yes.
The balances are not correct.
They are not the same. Do you see? But
Yes.
Yes.
But we are talking about the same law firm, your law firm. Do you see?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
According to your own books, your own cash book tells you that you have 101,004. But the bank says you have 114,310. Do you see that there's a problem here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, because of these, it means, or you can already see that you must prepare a bank reconciliation statement and supplementary cash book. In other words, because you see there's a difference here of balance, you need to investigate. You need to investigate. You need to find out why. there are differences. You need to find out why there is a difference. All right, let us read further. Let us read further. A comparison of the cash book and bank statement for September 2020 reveals the following. 1. Interest of 7108 on the favorable balance has not been entered in the cash book. Do you see now? Do you see one of the causes of the difference? Interest of 7108 on the favorable balance has not been entered in the cash book. Remember that we have two types of interest. We have interest that you earn or which you receive, and interest which you pay. When you are dealing with a favorable account, we will talk about interest which you receive. You get compensated for keeping a positive balance. So that will be interest that you receive, like they are saying here. But where you are dealing with an overdrawn account, when there is mention of interest, you will know that it is interest which you pay. You are being charged for keeping a negative balance. Let us read further. An erroneous EFT deposit into the trust banking account for 17,218, which was recorded in your cash book, has been reversed by the bank. The reversal is not recorded in your cash book. What do you see here? Another problem, not so? Is this not another problem?
Is another problem, sir.
Yes.
So there is bound to be a difference in your books, eh? There is bound to be a difference because there are problems here.
Yeah.
And what kind of a problem is this? An erroneous EFT. What kind of error is this?
Nice times problems.
A bank error.
It's an electronic transfer error.
Mr. Magaba, you're not audible?
But the
So your transmission is not nice.
We can't
do
hear
you
you, sir.
follow? Yes.
Oh, we can't hear you.
We are losing you, sir. We've lost you.
I'm back. I'm back. Okay. Let me read it again. An erroneous EFT deposit into the trust banking account for 17,218, which was recorded in your cash book, has been reversed by the bank. The reversal is not recorded in your cash book. Do you see what's happening here? An EFT deposit was made into the trust account by error. And when it was made into the trust account, you also debited your trust cash book because according to you, you were receiving money. But then later, the bank reversed this deposit. And when the reversal was made, no recording was made in your own cash book. So it means you need to attend to it. It is also one of the reasons there are differences in the balances. 3, a deposit of 3,114 made on 30 September 2020 is not reflected on the bank statement. Where must this go?
Bank
Bank
recon.
reconciliation statement.
Yes. So do you see this is another problem? So there is bound to be difference. There is bound to be difference between your balances. 4, an EFT payment for 2736 drawn on the business banking account has been incorrectly reflected on the trust banking account. Do you see there's another problem here? You are dealing with your trust account here. But now you see an EFT for 2736, which was drawn on the business account, being reflected in the trust banking account. So there's a problem. There's an error here. And who made this error? Who made the error?
The bank.
Bank.
The bank.
You made the error.
You made the error.
Yeah, you made the error.
The bank.
The bank.
The bank.
Yes, the bank made an error.
The
So where must
bank.
it go?
Bank recon.
Bank
Exactly.
recon.
5, the bank debited your trust banking account with trust bank charges of 734. What's happening here?
The bank
bank made an error.
debited the wrong account.
Wrong account. Because you need to make arrangements with your bank to debit your business banking account with your trust account charges. 6, an electronic transfer.
Repeat that.
You need to make arrangements with your bank to debit your business banking account with your trust account charges. So the bank must not debit your trust account with bank charges. Bank charges must be debited on the business banking account and not on the trust banking account.
Thank you.
6, an electronic transfer of 30,000 by a client has not been entered in the cash book. So this is EFT. It's an electronic transfer. It came into your account, but you did not record it in the cash book. Where should you go?
Supplementary cash book.
Supplementary cash book.
Right. Now let's read what we are required to prepare. A, the supplementary cash book for September 2020. B, the bank reconciliation statement as at 30 September 2020. Do you follow?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
So let us prepare these two documents which we are required to prepare. Let us prepare these two documents. So it means we will need to do a bank reconciliation statement and a supplementary cash book. Bank reconciliation statement and supplementary cash book. Are you opening these documents?
Yes.
We are with you, sir.
Okay.
Which document is that? I guess I missed it.
A supplementary cash book and
Okay.
bank reconciliation statement.
On which page?
The
49.
exercise is already on page 48.
48.
So, so
Okay.
we start with the balance brought down for the.
Are you able to see my screen?
No.
No,
No.
sir.
No,
No,
We
sir.
can't see your screen yet.
No, we can see the screen.
This is favorable. So. We still can't see your screen, sir.
I'm trying to share it with you.
It's coming.
Am I the only one who lost the lecture?
I think you went off.
No, you're not alone.
Still configuring.
Hello.
The screen is not through yet.
Yeah, no, you are not alone.
Yeah, I think he logged out and he's gonna come back.
Yes, I'm trying to share here and it's acting up.
What's going on, guys?
Hello?
What's going on?
Is this a lecture? I'm only one who's losing the lecture.
We are still waiting for the lecture,
Oh, okay.
All right, thanks.
so be patient.
Let's just allow him to come back, guys. Fine.
Guys, if I may ask, would it be anything that will tell us a scope for the coming exam? If anyone knows, please.
I think because we're in recording, can we maybe just mute? I think there was a request earlier that you must not talk in between.
Yeah,
Thank you so much
guys,
for
I
that.
think if you
Thank
want,
you so much.
I
As a
think if you
lawyer
want
as
to
well,
discuss,
you need to learn how
if
to
you
take instructions.
if you want to discuss something like that, please do it on the WhatsApp group, guys.
Oh, thank you.
But most of us are not in the WhatsApp group like me. I'm not there. I've been sending my number. It's not added.
But still, kudos. This is not a platform. Can you please respect that? We had a meeting this morning. Go to your e-leader, find the meeting recording, listen to that, and please respect. Thank you.
Is it wrong to ask the lecturer the scope? There's nothing legal about that one. The scope is just emphasis, honestly, guys.
We were not given
There's
the
no
scope,
scope
and
given.
then these platforms are recorded. There are people who will be listening to us going around arguing about things that are not even related to this course.
I think you should wait
There is
for
no
an
scope.
answer from him.
You can just ask the lecturer at the end of the lecture.
Exactly my point.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone wants the scope, so we can just ask at the end. Thanks.
Right. Do you now see any screen?
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I see.
Yes. I've been struck. I had logged in through a wrong account. Okay. So it wasn't allowing me. Fine. So let us proceed with this exercise. Let us answer it. So what do we start with here? We already see that we are required to do two things. And those are supplementary cash book. And for when is this? Let's look at the requirements at A. We are told we must prepare the supplementary cash book for September 2020. So we must say supplementary cash book for September 2020. Supplementary cash book for September 2020. And as always, we'll have a column for particulars. We'll have another for, we'll have the next one for debit and credit.
I'm so sorry to just barge in. Sir, I still can't see the screen. I actually just logged off and tried to log back in, but I can just see your initials.
I think it's your connection. We can see.
Log off and log in again.
Oh, I can see it now. Thank you.
Right, and then the other one we are opening is a bank reconciliation statement. As at 30 September 2020. Are you spotting the difference here? On the supplementary cash book, what do we say? Supplementary cash book for September 2020. And on the bank reconciliation statement, we say bank reconciliation statement as at 30 September 2020. So it is as at a particular date. Do we follow?
Yes, sir.
Right. So we will start with our balances. What is the balance on the cash book? What is the balance on the cash book?
101,004.
101,004. Is it favorable? Is it favorable or is it overdrawn?
Favorable.
Favorable.
Favorable. So it means we have the money, not so?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we will record on the debit side because we have the money. Do you follow?
Yes.
Right, right. Let's go to the bank reconciliation statement. What is the bank balance?
114,310.
14310.
Is it favorable?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is the stream gone for everyone? Sorry guys, is the stream gone for everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is gone.
It's like the lecture has logged out.
The
Guys,
lecture is
I
doing
just
the
want to ask, page are we referring to the exercise?
it is page 48, example 5.
Thank you.
You're
Is it the new
welcome.
book? I can't find it here.
Which book did you receive?
It's the one for this year. Like it's for the first
Yeah.
intake.
I think they're all the same. Just look for page 48, example 5.
Oh, okay, I'll check.
Do you see our balances?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that is where we begin. You get marked just for writing the heading correctly. Just for writing the heading correctly, you get a mark. And for correctly recording the balance, you get a mark as well.
They're telling us how we'll be getting.
Right. A comparison of the cash book and bank statement for September 2020 reveals the following. 1. Interest of 7108 on the favorable balance has not been entered in the cash book. What does this mean?
It
Where
needs
should
to
we
be
go?
entered in debit card.
Debit which account?
Cash book.
Supplementary cash book.
Yes. And what do we say?
Interest received
Interest received.
on favorable balance.
Favorable balance.
Interest.
Excuse me, sir. Can I please ask why we have the balance on the credit side for the bank reconciliation statement?
Okay. When you look at your statement from the bank, what is due to you will be on the credit side, and what is due to the bank will be on the debit side. So when you draw the bank reconciliation statement, you follow that format. You will see with your cash book. With your cash book, yours is on the debit side because this is your own cash book. Do you
Okay,
get it,
thank you,
madam?
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. So interest of how much?
7,108.
7108. We debit 7108. We debit.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. What if the balance was unfavorable in the bank
it would be on the credit side of the cash book, and on the bank statement it would be on the debit side.
Thank you.
Sorry,
So
sir.
in
Can I ask a question?
yes,
I see you just wrote the balance. Aren't you supposed to write on the bank record that balance as per bank statement?
you can do so. On the bank record, you can say balance per bank statement, and in the supplementary cash book, you can still say balance per cash book. You can do so. It's not forbidden. Are we happy with the first item? Let's go to the next.
Yes.
Yes.
An erroneous EFT deposit into the trust banking account for 17,218, which was recorded in your cash book, has been reversed by the bank. What are they saying here? When you first received these EFT, you recorded it in your cash book. And because you were receiving, what did you do? Did you debit or did you credit?
Debit.
You debited.
Debit.
Because you were receiving.
Debit.
So now you are told that the bank reversed that transaction, but it does not appear in your cash book. What do?
Credit the
You credit
supplementary.
where?
Supplementary
Which
cash book.
account do you credit?
Supplementary cash book.
In the supplementary
Yes.
cash book.
Right. So you'll have a reversed EFT. Of 17,218. Right. Can we read further? Three, a deposit of 3,114 made on 30 September 2020 is reflected on the bank statement, is not reflected on the bank statement. So it means it only appears on the cash book. Do you see?
Cash book.
No, I'm saying it means this only appears on the cash book, but it does not appear on the bank statement.
Yes.
Do you follow?
Yes. Yes.
We do.
Where do you take these to?
Yes.
To the bank
reconciliation.
reconciliation.
And what do you say there? What do you say there?
It has to be credited.
Bank
It's an
reconciliation.
outstanding deposit.
Outstanding deposit.
Yes, outstanding deposit. Do you debit or do you credit the bank statement?
Credit.
You credit.
Credit.
It's due to us, not so. Stand to our credit.
Credit. Money coming in.
Right. 4, an EFT payment for 2736 drawn on the business banking account has been incorrectly reflected in the trust banking account. What is this?
Bank error.
It's a bank error.
Bank error.
Where do we correct this?
Bank statement.
Bank reconciliation statement.
According to this error, was money taken away from you or were you given money?
You were given money.
We are giving money.
It was taken and now it's being given.
It was taken.
Money came out of trust bank.
No, it
So
was
money was taken, not so?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you must bring it. How do you do this?
Credit the bank
Credit
recon.
bank
Record
recon.
bank error.
Credit side.
Bank error.
Bank reconciliation.
Yes, on the bank recon. How much?
2736.
736.
Right, let's move. 5. The bank debited your trust banking account with trust bank charges of 734. What is this?
Bank error.
It's an error. Where do we go?
Recon.
Bank
Bank
reconciliation.
Bank recon.
Yeah.
Debit or credit?
Credit.
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 How much?
734.
734.
734.
734. 6. An electronic transfer of 30,000 by a client has not been entered in the cash book. Where do we go?
Supplementary cash.
Supplementary cash book.
And what do we say there?
Debit.
EFT payment by client.
Credit.
Debit or credit?
Debit.
Debit.
Debit. Right. Is there any other item that needs our attention there?
Nope.
No.
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 Let's determine our balances. Let's start with the supplementary cash book for September. Perhaps before we even go there, others prefer to say totals for debit and credit. And then they determine the whole total of the debit side and they record it somewhere here. And then go to the credit side and record the total of the credit side. And then after that, they then say debit side or whichever side which is higher. They simply say the higher side minus the lower side to get the total. Do you follow?
Yes.
But you can still use the traditional method of determining or of comparing from here which and finding out which of the two sides has the higher value.
The debit side.
The debit side. What is the total of the debit side?
138,112.
1
3
3
8
112.
12.
138,112.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Minus the credit side.
$120,894.
On which side do we record it?
Credit side.
Where do we record?
Credit side.
On the credit side. In other words, what we are saying is debit side is equal to credit side if we put in this amount. And what is the difference?
Okay, makes sense.
What is the difference?
120,894.
120,894. Right. In order for your books of account to be in order, you must get this same amount in the bank reconciliation statement. If the amount you get in the bank reconciliation statement is different, then there's a problem. Do you follow?
Yes.
Right. What total are you getting in the bank reconciliation statement?
120,894.
120,894. Right. So it means Your books are in order.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
Am I correct in saying that the balance that you get must also only be on the one side and not calculated for both sides? Say in the exam, you by accidentally, if you're on the bank reconciliation statement, say the amount of 2736, you by accidentally entered it in the debit side. You can't calculate the both sides together to get that 120. It must only be on the one side, either debit or credit side.
On the
And corresponding with your supplementary cash book.
Okay. Yes. Remember, there is that other style of not using debit and credit. Remember, you've got another style where you simply line the amounts and they are determined by what you say in your narration. Sometimes you'll say add outstanding deposit, less bank error, add bank error, and so on and so forth. So it is possible to have it also on the same line without using the style of either debiting or crediting. But I am, yes, that method also works. That method also works. In fact, many are used to that method. So I'm training you based on this one because I understand this is what you are going to find in your manual as well. In case you want to practice further, you will not have complications.
For the exam, sir, then which one do we use? Do we continue with this one?
Anyone.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
For as long as you have correctly recorded and you get the balances that you should get.
So if, sir, sorry, if we are using this one, then on the side, we don't have to have a third column where you keep on adding the totals for the bank recon statement.
It's not necessary.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. How do you know that which one, when you say now balance brought down, how do you know that this must be on the credit side or it must be on the debit side?
Favorable. Favorable.
Favorable.
Explain.
Okay, so let's finalize this transaction. Now, sir, this will answer your question. Look at the bank recon. We have seen the whole total of the credit side is 128.94. Yes. So we use this same total as our balancing figures.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we ask ourselves a question as to if we want our debit side to be equal to the credit side, how much do we need?
Yes.
How much do we need in order to have the debit side being equal to the credit side?
We need 120894.
Exactly. So that is the amount you will write here. So that is determined by that actually. If you look at the supplementary cash book, for example, if we remove this amount, you see, on the supplementary cash book.
Yes, I'm looking.
Do you see that the total of the debit side is 138,112?
Yes.
And we've recorded it on both sides.
Correct.
On the credit side, we only have 17,218. Do you see?
Yes.
Then we ask ourselves a question. In order for the credit side to be equal to the debit side, how much do we need?
Then we'll subtract 138,112 from 17,218.
Yes. In fact, the converse, yes.
Yes, correct.
And then what do you get?
You get 120,894.
20894.
Yes. So whether you debit the balance or you credit it will be determined by the higher side.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. No,
So
I got
if
it.
you like, you can still say brought down or carried forward and so on. But we are fine with you recording like this. Do you follow?
All right. Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, sir.
Yes.
If I may ask, on transaction number 5, could you please explain to me why is it a bank error?
Transaction number 5.
Is the bank debited your trust banking account with trust bank charges of 734 rand?
Oh, yes. It is an error because your trust account must not be debited with bank charges.
Oh, all right.
You must make arrangements with your bank to debit your
On your
business
business
account
account.
with
All
your
right.
trust account charges.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
I missed you there. Apologies. With the big bank reconciliation statement, I don't understand why everything is on one side only.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is the nature of the transaction we were dealing with.
But we had the two bank errors on the debit side. So why do
Yes.
we have everything now on one side?
The bank errors were taking money away from us. So in order for us to correct them, we had to bring the money back.
By putting them now on the credit side.
Yes. Remember that with bank errors, and as I explained earlier, you check the nature of an error it is. Check whether through this error, money was taken away from you or you were given money by error.
Okay.
If you were given money by error, you will reverse the error. But if money was taken away from you by error, you will correct the error by bringing money back.
Backwards. Okay. All right.
So
I'm not sure if I understand. I'm just gonna cram for now.
So you should not bear the understanding that when it's a bank error, you always debit. No. It depends on the nature of the error. It depends on the nature of the error.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Sir, please repeat that, the error part.
With errors, you must check the nature that it is. Is it an error that takes money away from you, or is it an error that gives money to you? If it is an error that gives you money, you must correct it by taking money out. And if it is an error that takes money out, you correct it by bringing back the money. So you must not think that every time you get an error, you must either debit or credit. No, you check the nature of the error that it is. The same goes for interest. With interest, you don't always assume that it will be interest you receive. It depends on whether you are dealing with a favorable balance or an overdrawn balance. If you are dealing with a favorable balance and there's mention of interest, it will be interest that you receive. You are being compensated for keeping a positive balance. But if you are dealing with an overdrawn account and there's mention of interest, this will be interest charged on the overdrawn account. So it will be interest that you must credit because it goes out. You are paying the interest. So this is a determination you must always make when you are confronted with situations like this. The same goes for practice errors. There will be practice errors that you will sometimes debit and other times you will credit, depending on the nature of an error that it is. If it is an error that takes money away from you, you will bring back the money by debiting. But if it is an error that gives you money, you will correct the error by taking the money out. And this means you will credit the supplementary cash book. Any other question?
No.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir, can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir? Hello?
I think we might have lost him again.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
possible. Let us break for a short while, maybe 10 minutes. When we come back at about 10 past, we will deal with an exercise on unfavorable balance or overdrawn balance. There we will be doing the opposite of what we do on a favorable balance. Can we come back at 10 past?
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, sir.
And then the
Bye.
exercise we will do is on page 46.
46, okay.
Yes, we will deal with the exercise on page 46. All right,
Okay,
let us
sir.
break for now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Nacho, if you work in a toxic environment, ne, msebenzi wakho nje, toxic yonke into, uyaliwa, uyale, kubuthungu. Go home, abuya after work, the glass biyi-2. Kanye uthenge beers biyi-2. Kanye uthenge iindaba zibiyi-2. Uphekela abantwana bakho, udlala nabantwana bakho. Kusasa uvuke uphangele, asinayo enye i-advice.
Please mute yourself.
Guys, mute. Please mute. We don't want to hear your beers.
Agadi. Is everyone back? Are we
Yes,
all back?
Prof.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Right. We will, in a short while, be starting with the second exercise, which I said is on page 46. And this is an exercise on bank reconciliation statement and supplementary cash book in instances where the account is overdrawn. All right.
Sorry, guys, is it me or that we lost the lecture?
I think he's on mute.
I think so too. Can see it. Yeah.
How the lecture forgot that is at 10 minutes.
Let's be patient. He's coming, eh?
It's 4 minutes late.
Right. Right. Is everyone back?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are fully back.
We are back, sir.
Okay. All right. Let us proceed. Let us proceed. Okay. For your purpose, I'll mark this as exercise 4. This is exercise 5. Right. Let us read this one on page 46, being exercise number 4. The business cash book of ABC Attorneys. ABC Attorneys is your law firm, eh? ABC Attorneys is your law firm. The business cash book of ABC Attorneys reflects an overdraft balance of 55,747 as of 30 June 2020. What are you understanding here? Is it favorable or unfavorable?
Unfavorable.
Right.
Unfavorable.
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 Unfavorable. And we have even been told, not so, that
Yes.
it's unfavorable. The bank statement at the same date was 53,976 overdrawn. So there are two things we are seeing here, not so. The first thing that we see is that we are not dealing with a favorable balance. Instead, we are dealing with an unfavorable balance. And the second thing we see is that the balances are not the same. Do you follow? The first
Yes,
thing
sir.
is that we are dealing with an unfavorable balance. And the second thing is that the balances are not the same. The balances are not the same. What does this mean?
It's a problem.
It means there is a problem. So it means
Yes,
there
sir.
is a problem. We need to do something.
Exactly.
We need to do something because the balances are not the same. The balances are not the same. The balances are not the same. We need to investigate to arrive at the cause of the difference or differences. Right, let us read further. A comparison of the cash book and bank statement for September 2020 reveals the following. One, no. I've gone to a wrong page. I'm sorry. Okay. A comparison of the bank statement and the cash book reveals that one, overdraft interest of 928 has not been recorded in the cash book. What do you get there?
You must record it in the supplementary cash book.
What do you understand there?
The amount hasn't been recorded in
It's a mistake I made, my mistake.
You credit your supplementary cash book.
So it must go to the supplementary cash book. Let me
Look.
So this interest has not been recorded in the cash book. Is this interest you earn or is this interest you pay?
You pay.
Interest you pay.
Okay.
Do we have a balance for the cash book? Do we?
It's 55,747 rand.
Do we debit it or do we credit it?
Credit.
Credit.
Why credit?
Because it's unfavorable.
It is unfavorable. How much is it?
55647.
Right. And then we also need to prepare what? A bank reconciliation statement.
Yeah.
As at the June.
As at
30 June 2020.
Yes. We have a balance for this.
Yes, we do.
How much? And where do we record it?
On the debit side, 53977.
On the debit side.
We record it on the debit side. Why? It's overdrawn. How much?
53976.
Right. So what do we do with the overdrawn interest? Do we debit it or do we credit it? At number one, overdraft interest.
We credit it because it's the money that is due to the bank.
Yes. How much?
Credit.
557.
How much? Can we go to 2?
53976.
Number 2, trust and business account bank charges of 558 and 394 respectively have not been recorded in the cash book. Where do we go?
Supplementary cash book.
Supplementary
Cash book.
What do we say?
Bank charges.
Right. How much is the trust account charge?
558.
Debit or credit?
Credit.
Credit.
How much?
558.
And the business account charges?
394.
394.
Debit or credit?
Credit.
Credit.
394. Right, let's read further. 3, a deposit of 4894 is not reflected on the bank statement. It's a deposit, eh?
Yes.
Money which you received and you recorded it only in the cash book, but in the bank statement it does not appear. What do you call this?
Bank reconciliation.
Outstanding deposit.
It's a bank error, so we'll go to the bank reconciliation.
No, it's not an error.
The
Outstanding
outstanding
deposit.
deposit.
Payment
Eh?
receipt.
Outstanding
Like-
deposit.
It's an
Outstanding
outstanding
deposit.
deposit.
Yeah.
Debit or credit?
You credit it.
You credit it because it is due to you, ne?
Yeah.
Right. Let's read further.
Sorry, sir, before we proceed.
Yes.
On the previous transaction, the reason why now we did credit the trust bank charges, it's because the trust charges were taken from the business account.
On which previous exercise?
I mean, on the transaction number 2.
Yes.
Is the reason is that so because the trust charges were taken from the business account, not from the trust account.
No, they were taken from the trust account instead of the business account, and we are now busy with the business account.
All right.
Ordinarily, your business account must be charged.
Yes.
Yes. So they had taken from a wrong account instead of this account.
Oh, all right. All right. Thank you, sir.
Can we go to 4? An EFT payment for 1443 in payment of a client's account appears on the bank statement but is not shown in the cash book. What's happening here?
It's our error.
Overdraw your account. Instead of a zero balance, they allow you to have a negative. They make you have access to more money. But yeah.
I would say money in we debit the
Put it
account.
in the supplementary cash flow and be debited.
Am I the only one who can't hear the lecturer?
I also can't hear.
Let's
We are
analyze.
not.
Let's analyze it. Let's
Yo-
analyze it.
You said number 4, the way that statement is constructed there,
Yes.
EFT payment for 1,443 in payment of a client's account.
Yes. Can you please hey. Yes.
What's the trick there? How can we recognize that it's the money that is coming from the client instead of us having to pay the client? Because to say in payment of a client's account, it's confusing me.
Yeah. Remember that your clients will have accounts with you.
Yes.
So they will pay in settlement of their accounts.
Oh, okay.
So this is payment you had received from a client or you have received from a client. And it was paid via EFT.
All right.
And it is not appearing in your cash book. You only see it on the bank statement. Where do you record this?
In the debit, in the supplemental cash book.
You'll debit the cash book, not so.
Yes.
Yes.
And what do you say?
EFT payment receipt from.
You'll say EFT payment, not so.
Yes.
So you will say EFT payment.
Then you debit the amount. Yes, sir. And then you debit the amount.
And debit the amount. How much is it?
1,443.
Right, let's take it further. 5, a stop order of 477 earlier received from a client has been reversed by the bank. A stop order of 477 earlier received from a client has been reversed by the bank. So you received this stop order earlier for 477. And when you received it, what did you do to the cash book? You debited.
Yes.
So now you are told that it has been reversed. What do?
You credit.
Credit. Supplementary cash.
Six, insurance and motor lease stop orders of 54 Rand and 1713 respectively have not been entered in the cash book. What do you do here? Are these monies you are receiving or monies you are paying?
Monies you are paying.
You are paying.
Monies we are paying. Credit side of the cash book.
Insurance. How
Why
much is
debit, not credit side of the cash book?
Eh?
Why must we debit, not credit it? Because we are paying.
Yes, we are crediting.
Crediting it.
All right, sir. All right.
We are crediting. Insurance is 54 Rand. And the motor lease is how much?
1713.
Debit or credit?
Credit.
1713. The last one, number 7, a deposit of 9346 made to the trust banking account has been incorrectly reflected on the bank statement. Analyze this. What is happening?
It's a bank error.
Bank error.
Bank error to the bank reconciliation statement.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Mr. Magabe, are you still with us? We can't hear you, sir. You still can't hear you.
Oh.
Do we all get this one?
Yes.
What is it? A bank error?
The bank error. The amount was not even supposed to be in the bank statement because it is put into the trust banking account.
And you are dealing with a business account now.
Yes.
Do you follow? So it shouldn't have been here. So how do you reverse this error?
We
Bank
record the
reconciliation.
We debit bank
You debit it.
statement because it is money not due to us.
In the bank reconciliation, you debit.
Bank error. Of how much?
9,000.
9,046.
9346. Right. Can we get our balances? What is the total of the credit side of the cash book?
59,871.
59,871. Does everybody get this one?
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So everybody gets this one. Minus the debit side.
On the credit side.
428.
58,428.
58,428. Does everybody get this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Can we go to the bank recon? On the bank recon, what is the total? What total are we getting here?
63322.
63322. Does everybody get this?
Yes.
And what is the difference between these two?
58428.
Is it the same as what we got in the cash book?
Yes.
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 And you say it's 58428.
Yes.
So your books are in order. So we bring it to the credit side, not so?
Yes.
Right. So your books are in order.
So
All right.
on the bank reconciliation, do we not correct it the same way now, the bank error, and bring it to the one side?
Which one, madam?
Okay, hoping that I'm not cramming. On the previous exercise, the bank error, we had taken them to the right, to the credit side.
And
would this one be different?
yes,
Of
it's different.
9346.
Remember, I gave an explanation. Remember,
Yes.
I said to you that you don't always debit bank errors. You don't always credit bank errors. It depends on the nature of the error. Like in our case here, we were mistakenly given money that was supposed to have gone to the trust account. So in order to correct the mistake, we take the money back. We take the money out.
Okay, so this one remains. All right. Noted, thank you.
Thank you. Any other question?
Don't I have to study?
Eh?
That be your last class, please. Can that be your last class, please?
Okay, remember that when we started, we indicated that you need to know how to record when you receive money and how to record when money goes out. You still remember that, not so?
Yes.
You also remember that when you deal with non-cash transactions, you need to make use of a journal. When you deal with non-cash transactions, you make use of a journal. You only make use of the cash book when you are dealing with cash. When you are either receiving money or you are making a payment. That is the only time you will deal with a cash book. But other than that, you know that you must make use of journals, and this is if you are dealing with non-cash transactions.
Good evening,
For
sir. I've got a
example,
question. Sorry to disturb you.
eh?
I've got a question. I just want
Yes,
to know how much would this be out of in a test? This
between
bank
15 and 20.
15 and 20 marks.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Please make it 20, sir.
Maximum.
I hear. All right. Let's say, for example, you just to refresh your memory, you have 100,000. You want to start your business. You want to use the 100,000 as startup capital. How will you record this?
Business cash book, debit side.
You'll go to the business cash book and on the debit side. Why business cash book and why on the debit side?
Because it's the money that the business receive.
It is the money that the business is receiving.
It's owner's equity.
Yes, asset increase on the debit side. So capital increase on the credit side, né?
Yes, so we will do something like this. We will have business cash book, as you suggested. Business cash book. It will appear like this. And then what will we have? We'll have particulars.
Particulars, debit and credit.
Debit. Right. And under particulars, what are we going to say?
Capital.
We will say capital because we intend using this for capital. Right. Debit or credit?
Debit.
Why are we debiting?
Because the money has been paid into the business.
Right. Will this be all we do?
No, dual entry.
No. Open a ledger.
Double entry.
Double entry.
Yeah.
So we'll open an account for
Capital.
Yes.
For capital.
Yes.
Then it's
And then we'll have the same thing. Particulars, debit, credit.
Credit.
Right. And what do we say here?
business cash.
Business cash book.
Business
Right.
cash book.
Yes.
Business cash book. Debit or credit?
We
Credit.
Credit.
We will credit. How much?
100,000.
100,000.
100K.
So it's not complicated, not so.
Not at all.
This is the easy part.
This is the easy part.
Yeah.
It gets complicated, yo.
True that. True that.
Yeah. Okay, let's say it's month end. You pay salaries totaling 23,000. How will you record this?
Business cash book.
Credit.
Credit. What will you say?
Salaries.
Salaries. Debit or credit?
Credit.
Credit. How much?
23,000.
23,000. Is that all?
No.
No. What else?
Open an extra account.
You open an account for salaries.
Yes.
And narration will be
Business cash book.
amount
Business cash book.
23,000.
23,000.
Debit.
Debit or credit?
Debit.
Debit.
Yes.
Debit.
Right. Why do we debit?
Because we credited on the cash book.
Because we credited on the cash book. So we want to comply with the double entry system of bookkeeping, not so?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Right. You pay rental of 11,500, including VAT.
Business cash book.
Business cash book.
Business cash book. Debit or credit?
Credit.
Credit.
And what do we say? What do we say on narration?
Credit, yes.
Rental.
Rental. VAT.
Plus VAT.
Plus
Rental.
VAT.
Debit or credit?
Credit.
Credit.
How much?
11,500.
11,500. Is that all we do?
No.
No.
What else do we do?
Account for rental.
We open an account for rental.
For rental.
Right. Open an account for rental. And our narration will be?
Business cash book.
Business cash book.
Debit or credit?
Debit.
Debit how much?
11,500.
11,500.
Yeah, but 11,500 is VAT inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, we must remove the VAT.
We must
money
remove
minus
the
the
VAT. Yes.
10,000.
So how much will be the actual rental excluding VAT?
10,000.
How much?
10,000.
10,000.
Right. Does everybody
10,000?
find 10,000?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
In case you are not sure how we found it or how we arrived at this 10,000, you will simply say 11,500 multiplied by 15 divided by 115. You will get the VAT input.
My network.
Sorry, sir. What page are we currently on?
We are not in a page. We are revising.
Revision.
Thank you.
We are revising. All right. So on rental, I mean, on the VAT account, what do we say? What do we do?
VAT input. No.
So it will be, we'll have input and output on the VAT account, not so?
Yes.
Right. How much will our input be?
1,500.
1,500.
1,500. 1,500. Fine. You pay membership fees to the LPC for 3,450. How will you record?
Sorry, sir, before we move forward, I
No,
think the
to
last
credit the
exercise
cash,
you did.
What do you do?
the credit the business cash book.
With how much? Hey, there are kids playing somewhere there. Can you please mute yourself? All right. You pay your subscription fees to the LPC in the sum of 3,450, VAT inclusive. What do you say in the business cash book?
LPC.
LPC subscription.
Paid LPC or subscription fees, yes. Debit or credit?
Credit.
Credit how much?
3,350 or
3,450, yes. We debit.
Yes.
Is that all?
No.
What else?
Fees, credit account.
Account for?
Legal fees.
Legal
Practice.
practice.
Legal practice counsel. Debit or credit?
Debit.
And our narration will be?
Business cash book.
How much are we debiting?
3,450.
3,000 rand.
3,000 rand.
Oh, yeah, so the VAT, yeah.
And then we go to the VAT account, not so?
Yes.
What do we say there?
Yes.
Yes.
What do we say in the VAT account?
Business cash book.
Business
Business
cash
cash book.
Business cash book.
Debit or credit?
Debit.
Debit how much?
Always.
450.
450.
Mr. Lakabe,
Yes. There are
if I may
kids playing
ask,
that side. I'm hearing kids playing. What's happening?
I'm not sure, but it's not by my end.
Yeah, guys.
If
Yes,
I may
ask me,
ask,
madam.
so with regards to the transaction for the LPC,
There's a
right?
disturbance there. Can the one who's in the presence of kids please mute their mic? Yes, you may ask me, madam.
Thank you, sir. So my question is relating to the example on the LPC, right?
Yes.
So why are we calculating tax? I mean VAT.
Because we are told that the amount we paid was including VAT. So we want to determine the VAT that we paid.
Oh, I didn't hear that part as part of the example. My apologies.
All right.
Hi, sir.
Sorry, sir.
No.
Yes.
I just have a problem. I was off a while and I returned. I don't know the page you are on. So that I can follow.
No, Mr. Guru, it's a revision. We are not focusing on any page.
Okay. Revision of the previous exercise.
Yes, we are just revising in general.
Yes.
Right.
Sorry, sir, do we pay VAT for withdrawal?
Eh?
Do we pay VAT if the owner has withdrawn the money or and after let's say a check?
Which owner now?
I'm saying hypothetically, the attorney has withdrawn some certain money. So do we pay the VAT or in that instance?
You pay VAT for withdrawing money.
For withdrawal, if there's a withdrawal, VAT is not inclusive or is exclusive.
Withdrawal of what, sir?
Withdrawal of money. Let's say there's a money, a capital that has been taken out from the account.
Okay, for your convenience, sir. Fees will be, VAT will be on fees. Do you understand me, sir? Don't make life difficult for yourself. Let it be on fees, either fees that you are paying or fees that you are charging. And you know that if we are talking about fees that you are paying, it means it will be VAT input. But if we are talking about fees that you are charging, it will be VAT output.
All right, noted.
Sure.
Thank you.
Mr. Makabe,
Yes.
can you please explain where the 450 is from?
It's from the 3,450. Remember that we paid membership fees to the LPC in the sum of 3,450. And we were told that, hey, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. We say that suppose you pay membership fees of 3,450 to the LPC and VAT is included in this amount. So you will credit the business cash book because money is going out in the sum of 3,450. And then you will open an account for the LPC so that you can debit what? The actual fee, which is 3,000. The 450 you record on the input part of the VAT account. You did the same thing that you did with the payment of rental. Do you remember how you paid rent?
Yes.
Yes. So it is the same thing. For as long as they tell you that a particular transaction includes VAT, this is how you work it out. Do you follow?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you buy computer from Game on credit. How will you record it? It's 6,000. You buy computer from Game for 6,000 rand on credit.
Business cash.
Later.
In a
Yeah.
journal. Because it's the non-cash transaction.
So you will not use the
money
cash.
is going out.
Yeah, but you
But
will
you're
not use
buying
the
on
cash.
credit. You didn't use the cash. There's no cash
Remember
flow
that
there.
you only come to the cash book when money is either coming in or going out.
Business
In this
journal.
case, you are purchasing this computer on credit. You are not paying any cent, not even a deposit.
Okay.
And
A
it
journal.
is sold to you at 6,000 on credit. How do you record this?
So
Mr.
how
Journal.
much you pay per month?
Journal.
No cash. Journal.
The non-cash transaction.
Journal.
Which journal?
The fees journal.
Why fees journal? Is it a fee? Are you writing fees
No.
here?
It's an asset.
Creditors journal.
Why not business ledger?
It's an asset.
Why ledger?
Because
There's a
This is what you will do. You'll make use of a journal. You can even use the general journal.
purchase
You'll make
journal.
use of a journal.
Or a business journal.
Or business journal, yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can use the business journal. And what do you do on the business journal?
Particulars.
The same thing that you do with journals. Particulars, debit, credit. Right. On the particulars, what do we say? What do we record?
Equipment.
Computer.
Yes.
Can I just say
equipment? You can say equipment, or you can still say computers, just to be specific. And what? What else?
Credit side.
Debit side.
Credit.
Debit.
Credit.
And then game stores. Below you'll have game stores, not so.
Yes.
Right. Now, Between the two, which one do you debit and which one do you credit?
Computers.
Debit computers. How much?
6,000. Then we
6,000.
credit game
Because
store.
you say you are purchasing it on credit, not so.
Then we credit game store.
And then you credit game stores. How much?
6,000.
6,000.
But where does the VAT go in? Because it's
Which VAT now?
but game, don't we pay VAT for that?
We did not speak about VAT, madam.
All right.
And then you will narrate here. And your narration will be purchased
computer on credit.
Computer on credit.
Yes.
Easy, not so?
Yeah.
So when you start paying your installment, you're gonna start crediting from the business cash book.
Exactly. Yes.
we do a transfer.
Because money will be going out.
And then you'll be debiting the game stores.
You'll be debiting game stores, yes. That's when you will be making payment.
Which means we're going to open an account for game stores.
Okay. Remember that after recording on a journal, you still need to post 2 ledgers. Do you remember this?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
meaning that after you have done this, you will have to open an account here for computers and game stores.
The credit.
Just these. We'll have an account here for computers. You can say game stores, or you can say purchase of computers on credit. And then you'll have to open an account here for game stores. PTY Ltd. So this one you will debit 6,000. And here you will credit 6,000 to show that you owe game stores 6,000. And your narration under game stores will simply be computers. Is it okay for everyone?
Yes.
Is it making sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll
Yes.
follow you.
Sir,
Yes.
when it comes to the VAT ledger, I think with the exercises that we were doing previously, we did not have input and output. We had VAT on as the heading, VAT output or VAT input, and then would have particulars debit and credit.
Yes.
So
Yes, that is
do you
so.
want? Sorry.
And somebody asked a question around that. And
I didn't hear.
Yeah, there was a question when we handled that exercise. And the question was whether it will be wrong to use this method, which we have used now, this one. And I said it is not wrong. You can use this method.
Oh, okay.
Yes, there was a
also another thing. Okay, so I think another thing before I forget, there's a with exercise 2 on conveyancing accounts of what exercise 2 on conveyancing. There's a part there that talks about where the bank advises you that an EFT for 300K was paid. Sorry, the 30,000 was actually reversed.
Yes.
So can you also do an example of how we would handle such an instance in our accounts?
Reversing an EFT, you do the opposite of what you did when you first received the EFT. It's in fact the exact thing that we did with the bank recon. Remember when we dealt with the bank recon?
Yes,
but
if I may add
now
on
there
that
is,
question,
sir,
sir.
The issue is, sorry, can I please finish? The issue is, on the 2nd of Feb, we had to pay SARS a transfer for 12,000. So
okay, let's handle it. Let's deal with it. Let's deal with it. On 2nd February, you paid SARS 12,000. Is it 12,000 or 18,000?
it's 12,000.
Yeah?
It's 12,000.
Right. Right.
18.
It cannot
No,
be.
it's exercise 2, so it's 12,000.
It can,
So now
okay,
we are
listen
giving
to
this
this.
example because somebody asked a question. We've left that in.
Are you still with me, madam? You asked me a question.
Yes, sir.
Are you with me?
Yes,
Okay.
sir, I'm still here.
Just to illustrate that point, let's do this. Let's open a trust cash book here. Do you follow?
Yes, sir.
Let's have particulars, debit, and credit. Here we are. You received, let's say you received 30,000 from your client. What's your client's name there? What's your client's name? Okay,
No.
fine. Bonchisi. Bonchisi. Let's say you received 30,000 from Bonchisi. You would have debited the trust cash book, not so, to show that you are receiving money. And then you have an account here for Bonchisi. You'll have an account here for Bonchisi in trust. And what do you do to this account?
Credit.
Credit.
Your narration will be trust cash book, and you credit Bonchisi's account with 30,000. Do you follow? Hello.
Yes, we follow.
Yes.
And let's say, fine, this happens whenever, 2 February. Okay. And then later, you are told that, okay, before you are even told by the bank, you say that you paid transfer duty, not so?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes.
A transfer duty of 12,000, so it means you credited the trust cash book, 12,000. And then you came to Bonchisi in trust and you recorded trust cash book and you debited 12,000. Right, so you have this transaction, not so?
Yes, sir.
And then later you learn that the EFT was reversed. Do you follow?
Yes.
Yes.
How do you get the EFT reversed? You come to the trust cash book. Reversed EFT, not so?
Yes.
Yes.
And you credit how much?
30,000.
The whole 30,000 has been reversed. The whole 30,000 has been reversed. Right. Now you'll have this trust cash book to debit your client's account with the 30,000 because you are reversing the EFT.
Yes.
Do you get it?
Yes.
Now, here's your problem, or here's your challenge.
Yes.
Your challenge is that you have already paid 12,000 to SARS.
Yes. You have 18,000 left.
And now the EFT has been reversed. So the challenge you have now is that there's now a deficit in the trust account, not so?
Yes.
Yes.
There's a deficit of how much?
18,000.
18,000.
18,000.
No.
12,000.
12,000, sorry.
There's a deficit of how much?
12,000.
12,000, because you took out 12,000 from the trust account with the understanding that your client has paid you 30,000. And according to you, 30,000 was, 20,000 or 12,000 was available for you to pay transfer duty, not so?
Yes.
Otherwise, you would have not paid from the trust account.
Yes.
Right. What did I say you must do on discovering a deficit? I said there are two things you must do when you discover a deficit. Number one, you must report the deficit to the LPC. Number two, you must correct the deficit by transferring from your business account to your trust account.
Okay.
Do you follow?
Yes.
Yes.
So that you close the deficit. Your trust account should never operate on a deficit. Your trust account should never run on the negative. And this is why your trust account is also not allowed to have an overdraft facility. You are not allowed to have an overdraft facility in your trust account. Now, how will you transfer funds from the business account to the trust account in order to close the deficit? Transfer journal. Transfer journal. You see? So you'll have transfer journal. And how will you record on the transfer journal? Under particulars. What will you say?
X business.
Shortfall.
Bonjisi in business. Bonjisi in trust. You follow?
Yes.
You make your client a business debtor in the sum of 12,000 in the business account. So your client will now be owing you 12,000 rand in business because you are now taking your own money from the business account to close the deficit in trust. And your narration here will be correction of deficit. Correction of deficit. And then from here, you post to ledgers. So you'll have an account for Bonjisi in business, which you will debit with 12,000, and an account for Bonjisi in trust, which will be credited with 12,000.
Oh, can we please mute ourselves, guys?
Guys, even if you're raising your hand, just mute yourself.
Okay, so from here, what we'll do is we will need to post to ledgers. So we'll end up having what is called business cash book, which we will use And we'll have another account here for Bonjisi in business. Right. So from the journal, we have two accounts which are affected here. Bonjisi in business, we debit 12,000. So we'll come to Bonjisi in business so that we can post these transactions to the ledgers. And on Bonjisi in business, our narration will be Bonjisi in trust.
Tabo, can you mute yourself? We're hearing an echo.
And this is 12,000. And then we go to Bonjisi in trust.
The person with the key, Simon, really.
Please.
Bonjisi in trust, we are going to credit. And our narration will be Bonjisi in business. And we credit 12,000. When you look at Bonjisi's account in trust, do you see that it has been corrected?
Yes, sir.
Do you see?
Yes.
You have 42 on the credit side, 42 on the debit side. So this account is now in order. It is not overdrawn. But you have not finalized the transfer process. In order for you to finalize the transfer process, as we always do, you come to the cash books.
Yeah.
You come to the cash books. So the most important cash book now will be the business cash book. This being where we transfer money from. And what will we say here? Transfer to trust cash book. Transfer to trust cash book. And we credit. We credit the business cash book because we're taking money out of the business cash book.
Yeah.
And then we go to the trust cash book to debit. And what do we say? X business cash book. And we debit 12,000. Do you see that your books are now in order?
Yes, sir. So in this example, we just assume that there's money in the business account.
In fact, there's an assumption that as a lawyer, you will always have money.
Okay.
This is why it is said that when there is a deficit in your trust account, you must first report the deficit to the LPC and thereafter correct it by transferring funds from the business account to the trust account. Do you get it?
All right. Yes, sir.
So the understanding is that as a lawyer, you'll always be having money.
In lawyering.
So
Yes.
so for your fees then, is it still, even though there was no money in the trust account, the fees will still be the less of the transfer duty and the money that
No,
was
there's money.
allocated?
Read the transactions further.
No, I'm saying, oh, since
Remember, your fees will
since
only come at the end of the transaction, and that
yes,
will be
yes.
way after your client paid cash. Do you
But
see
I'm
the
saying
transaction
that
where he pays
the-
cash? Huh?
Okay.
Yes, we do see it, sir.
Yes. So you still apply the same formula, madam. The same
Yes,
formula.
that's what I'm
is-
asking. Yeah, okay,
Yes.
thanks.
The same formula is applicable. All right. And then please go through the rules of the Law Society, I mean the rules of the Legal Practice Council. For short question purposes, go through FICA as well, the notes relating to FICA. You should know how FICA applies to you, as well as the rules of the Legal Practice Council. Chapter 14 is on FICA, and it's not very long. You just go through that. And then practice, practice, and practice. Practice, practice, and practice. So chapter 13 is also very important because it deals with the Legal Practice Act, just the rules in general. It's just an overview of the rules and how they apply to you and to your practice as an attorney.
So, Mr. Machabe, how
Yeah.
many marks does what's this? The short questions, the theory count in an examination paper?
It depends on the feeling of the examination. On the feeling of the examiner at a particular time. You may find them being around 10 marks, sometimes 15 marks, sometimes 6 marks.
How are you feeling?
Mr. I'm
Mahave?
feeling very well. Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask, will today's the lesson be posted tomorrow?
Remember, on posting, I do not know. It's not me doing this. It is the technical team of the school that does that or that deals with it. We can only try or we can only ask that they do so. But I think they should be able to do so knowing that you are writing on Saturday.
Yes, the principal did say that they will do it as soon as possible.
Okay, excellent then.
Sorry, can I just ask a question?
Can I ask a question? Why will we write exam before assessments? So I think the logic is that we write assessment, and then later on exam. But this time, you get study
Please,
material.
let me stop you there, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please ask me anything relating to this subject. Ask me anything relating to what I am teaching you, not the school administration.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
I'm assuming that because
Thank you
it's
so
open,
much.
I'm assuming because it's open book, most of the questions are going to be practical.
It's not.
I'm not sure about the open book part, sir.
It's not open book.
Hey, Leon, man,
Oh,
don't
yes,
fear
it's
what's
an
in the
open
game.
Wow.
I think
I
maybe,
said you have
I think
scope
maybe,
for us.
sorry, I think maybe some of the questions you must listen to the recording for today's class. You will get some
Yes.
answers there.
Sorry, can I ask a
Exactly.
question?
I said you have scope for
Hello?
us.
Now, scope will also with adversity.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, petty cash. Are we not going through petty cash? Is that not part of that? Petty cash.
Petty cash works like a cash book.
Okay.
When you receive, you debit. When you pay, you credit. It's a cash book anyway. If you remove the prefix petty, it remains a cash book. So whatever it does, a cash book does, like any other. The only difference is that it deals with small things. Your purchase of coffee, tea, milk, sugar, pen. Do you follow?
Okay.
But
And then
the same principles which apply to a trust cash book or a business cash book will apply to a petty cash book.
okay, then the question on bank recon, on page 47, there's another bank recon in the bottom, which is the opposite of what we did, the debit and credit.
The opposite in which way?
There's another bank recon in the bottom, which starts with the balance from the cash book. And then you find all the debits, all the credits on the previous one is debited on in the bottom.
Sorry to interject. That's if you do not have the balance.
No. On page 47, it's a solution to the exercise on page 46. Don't confuse yourself, please.
No, but there's two bank recon statements there. There's one
Where?
in the bottom of 47.
Madam, look, they've simply shown you the different ways of doing it. Okay, like here it's when the balance was not given. Do you see?
Okay, so why is the outstanding deposit on the debit side and not the credit side?
Because we are not given the balance.
Yes, they've done it the converse way. Can you try not to confuse yourself?
Okay, so if we happen to have a question like this in the exam, we didn't go over the converse part of it, where it's the opposite, because according to what you said, the credit side is what is owed to us and the debit side is what is owed to the bank.
Yes.
So the outstanding deposit in the bottom is owed to the bank.
Look at it this way. Look at the debit side. It is due to you. I mean, it is due to
the bank.
To the bank. And you know why it is due to the bank? Because it is overdrawn.
Can you please explain the mixed money concept?
Yes.
The mixed money.
Yeah,
mixed money concept.
A composite deposit.
Yes.
Right. A composite
Sorry,
deposit means...
the lady's first asking a question, and she was not done.
Oh, it's fine. Let's finish with this one first. Ne? On this one, madam, let's go through it. You see, it's bank reconciliation statement as of 30 June 2020. When you look at it, the only difference here is that with us, we started with the balance. We started with the balance. We started on top and went to the bottom. They started at the bottom and went on top. They started with the balance that we got at the end, whereas we started with the balance that we got. And when you look at all these figures here, there's no new figure here. Do you follow?
I follow,
Look at, for example, the balance per bank statement, 53976. On the first one, do you see?
Yes.
This is the same method that we followed. Do you see?
Yes. Yeah. But what I'm saying is now, in the bottom, the debit and credits are on the reverse. It's opposite.
Yes, they've decided to use the opposite way. Somebody asked when we were dealing with a favorable one, somebody asked whether it is possible to do these on one line without two columns. In other words, under just one column when you do the bank reconciliation statement. And my answer was yes, it is possible, you can do so. So they might have used a different method, but they still arrived at the same conclusion that we arrived at.
Okay, so if I take your method and your conclusion and use that in the exam, then
it will work
it will
for
be
you.
Correct.
It will work for you. This same method that we used, the method that we used is confirmed in this top one. Look at the top one. It's exactly how we did it. Do you see?
Yes.
The only difference is that we did not do the total for debits and credits, which I said others prefer doing. Do you remember when I said this in our first exercise on favorable balances?
Okay.
Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Look at line 4, total for debits and credits. Do you see?
Yes.
Where they give you the total of the debit side and the total of the credit side, and thereafter work out the difference.
Okay, so wait, if I have to do it and if there's no balance, I'm going to assume it's the other way around. I'm going to obviously do it the opposite way.
You may do so for as long as it will not confuse you. I would suggest that you follow the method that we are following so that you are not confused at all.
That's only if we get a balance, but if we don't get a balance, we can't follow your method. We have to do it the other way.
If you do not get a balance, let's say you don't have a balance in the bank statement, you first work out the supplementary cash book. Once you are done with the supplementary cash book, you have now got the total of the balance of the supplementary cash book. You use it in dealing with your bank reconciliation statement. Where you have got balances, you have the advantage of doing both at the same time, like we've been doing. But where you do not have a balance, you will first work out the supplementary cash book, you get a balance, then that balance you will use to deal with the bank reconciliation statement. Do you get it, madam?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Just a quick question.
You are now home. I'm now listening to music. You are now home. All right. If there are no further questions.
Yes.
Just one question.
Can you please
Just on
explain
side
the
out of
mixed money concept?
Oh, yes. Yes. Right. We call that a composite deposit. What it means is that you've got money which is for trust and for business combined. So it is a composite deposit. How do you deal with it? Take it to trust. Take it to trust. And in this same exercise, you were asking me a question on Bonjisi. The 30,000 that you later receive from Bonjisi is a composite deposit. Do you understand me? Why is it a composite deposit? Because the 12,000 is already yours. You've paid from your business account. Remember when you closed the deficit, you made use of your own money, which you transferred from the business account to the trust account. Do you follow? But the 18,000 is trust money. So it's mixed. It's mixed money. We call it a composite deposit.
So we only take
it to the trust account, even though it is possible to split it. It is possible because it is cash. You can extract your 12,000 from the 30,000 and take it to business. But simply take it to trust because you know that there's going to be a time when you'll be transferring from the trust account to the business account. Yeah, it is also possible to get a short question around this. Under what circumstances will you find business money in trust? So your answer may be when it is part of a composite deposit or when it is a composite deposit. When must you bank money? When must you bank trust money? When must
on
you
the day of receipt.
when must you
On the
bank
day of
trust
receipt,
money?
or on the day
On the
of
day of
receipt,
receipt. On the date of receipt, and if it is not possible,
the following day.
Yes, the following banking day. And it must be banked intact, not so.
Correct.
Right. When must you register as VAT vendor?
When you open the business.
No, when you
When your
yes,
business
when you make 30 million above.
when your annual turnover exceeds $1 million.
exceeds a million, or
yes,
All right, please go and practice these things. Practice, practice, and practice. I wish
Sir,
you
can I
all the
just ask
best of
one
luck on
question?
Saturday. Hello.
Yes, just one last question.
Yeah.
Is the format of the exam similar to the competency exams?
Yeah, it is.
All right, thank you.
Sir, just want to find out if that tomorrow's Saturday's exam, how many questions are going to be there? It will be constituted by how many questions?
It will be questions of up to 75 marks.
Sir, I quickly
Yes.
want to ask,
Yes.
in our textbook, whenever they do an account or a ledger, they
Yes.
say book of prime entry and then they'll say fee journal. When they go to the next one, book of second entry, business ledger, and then client in business. Do we have to do that, or can we
No.
just say transfer journal, client in business?
You don't need to do. Remember, they're recording that way for teaching purposes.
Okay, so we don't actually have to do it.
No,
that
you
way.
don't have to do it.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
You are welcome.
So, sir, the other balance of the 25%, where will it come from on the 75%?
Which 25%?
You said the exam will be made of 75%.
No, I said 75 marks.
Okay, so which will round it to 100, basically.
It's 75 marks, eh?
100%.
And 75 marks is also 100%.
Counting is difficult.
I think.
Sorry, sir. Hello?
Yes. Sir.
Yeah, just sorry, man. Just one question, sir. Any specific section on the study guide that you need to look for in preparing for an exam?
Just look at the whole of it.
Sorry, sir. I wanted to ask.
The whole study guide.
Yes.
300
including the one we did today.
Plus what we did together.
Can I ask a question, sir?
You may ask, madam.
If we get an amount that is 0.5 or point something, are we supposed to round it off, or should we leave it like that if it has maybe?
If you are unsure of how to round off, simply record it the way it appears. You can simply take the 2 digits after the comma.
Okay, thank you so much.
Just one last question, sir. A Section 86.3 investment is, we don't separate it according to 5% and 95% for the client and LPF.
It's 100% for the LPC.
The LPF or LPC.
LPF, yeah.
LPF, yes, thank you, sir. Thank you.
100%. The one that you split is the one in terms of Section 86.4.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, sir, if I may.
Yes, sir.
So you were explaining so nicely before you were interrupted. We were busy with chapter 14, chapter 13. You can continue, sir. You were busy telling us nicely what to look for. Then someone disturbed you. Hey, these guys, colleagues. You can continue this. We are still listening with chapter 13, chapter 14. Then what next, sir?
Go.
Before you were referring to the whole manual. Just continue that nice one. Hey.
Yeah, you may go through them. You may go through those. You may go through those to get an understanding of the concept of bookkeeping and the rules relating to the legal practice and the Legal Practice Council. You'll actually see when you go through the manual that we actually covered almost everything. Almost everything. You will see that when you go through the manual on your own, you won't really find anything new there. You won't find anything that we did not discuss in this class, even though we did not go through specific pages. But you will see that there's nothing that will be new to you.
And I'm assuming you can have that open when we're writing.
Leon, Leon.
All right.
Well, I'm asking because I know with certain other exams you signed an undertaking and you have someone sit in the room with you that don't have any of the study material. So I haven't seen any undertaking like that, so I'm just asking.
What are you asking, Leon?
I know when you're, for instance, writing the chartered accountant exams, you have to have someone independent in the room with you to ensure that you don't look at any of your study material. So I'm assuming that that doesn't apply here.
There may be that, yes.
Hey, Leon,
This is
don't keep
guilty
ideas
exam,
now.
Leon.
Leon,
All
don't
right.
come with
This is
ideas,
guilt.
man, Leon. Hey, man,
All
Leon.
right, colleagues.
Leon.
Yes.
Hey, Leon, you're in charge, yes.